you wearing sunglasses?
Look me in the eyes and ask me again.
I can't.
Look me in the
Can't
eyes
see them.
and ask me again, am I wearing sunglasses? I am wearing sunglasses, and
Are you honestly wearing them though?
welcome, guys. I am honestly wearing
Like
them.
who? Like, okay.
Okay, you know, I was gonna start somewhere else with the podcast.
I didn't know
but
we had started the podcast.
we
until
hadn't.
You started.
We hadn't, but I was you were-
seriously asking you.
I know.
Like, legitimately
I knew you were
worried
gonna-
about your character.
You were literally thinking
I was like, is he about to do something?
he wasn't
stupid?
wearing those earlier.
He just put on sunglasses.
Why is he wearing them now? It's not because his future's so bright, because that's just cliched.
Absolutely not what it is.
Cliched. We've heard it before. And my glasses are to point out that you have some new glasses.
I think we discussed this last time.
We did discuss, but I have... Folks,
You're not sponsored by your glasses.
I'm not.
I mean, we made no money off of that.
Nothing. But let me just say,
I need gas, bro. If you're gonna wear something,
I can't drive here off of nothing. Your glasses. How do I put this lightly? Okay, so if you have Netflix,
I know.
you may know that there is a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary series. Not documentary. It's a biopic. Would you call it a biopic? Is that what it is? It's a reenactment
biopic.
of his life.
It's a
I mean,
series.
What do you call it?
A
It's a
biopic
series. It's about Dahmer.
It's about him.
And what's his name? Evan Peters?
Yes.
First
he's so
of
good
all,
in it.
just, dude, we are both big on. It's always weird.
You can't
when,
say you're a serial killer fan.
I find myself
You
doing
can.
it on occasion where I've said, in
It's like-
conversation, I've blurted out, well,
The fascination for
Ted Bundy is my favorite serial killer. And then I get those looks. I'm like, okay.
Well,
but I
it's-
mean, favorite, I mean, like,
The psychology of it,
intriguing.
like listening to the psychology of
Yes.
what a person like that
Yes.
is interesting.
exactly. And knowing that he was at a level.
It's not like I'm
Ted
rooting
Bundy
for him.
was at a
It's
level.
not like I want them
Right.
like free.
However, that move that he made to defend himself as a lawyer was just like, bravo,
that
man.
just
You know what?
shows-
He was, because what was he doing? What was he going to school for? You know?
Yeah.
Like, he knew what he knew the law, and he knew what he was doing. Dahmer,
It's a little early to be talking serial killers. We got right into this.
well, I mean, I'm going to get into something else, and I was going to start, you know, it's like every episode I was going to start completely different, and then last minute, just something happens, and I'm like, no, I got to go there. I got to talk about his glasses, because I thought about it between last week and this week.
I talked about your glasses first. Let's just
Right.
Let's get
And that's fine.
Let's get the
You
record.
did talk about
straight.
mine first, and that's fine. And we can still have a conversation about how your glasses,
take you
though,
seriously.
look the same
Is this a joke or not?
as Jeffrey Dahmer, but his are gold. Jeffrey
yeah,
Dahmer's are
no, I
gold, but
went
they
with
have
blue.
the
Mine are
same
blue.
little.
I don't know if
they
you
have
can
the same
tell in
little
here.
aviator-ish thing.
I like them. It makes me look like
It makes you
like
look
sometimes
like,
I can look like real dad.
yeah. Oh, but do you?
But it makes me feel more dad too, and I like that.
Okay, it makes you feel more dad and you like that. Okay, that's a different thing I was going to say, because there's a fine line between how we would consider dadding, and I loved it. That finger tap, I know what that meant. It was like, why the fuck is he still wearing sunglasses and he still hasn't addressed it?
Oh no, that
I
wasn't.
know
it.
that. No,
That
I know
just
it was.
some
I know
always
that was
tapping.
inner monologue. I know that was.
That's just the
was
rhythm
just
of my soul
the
coming out
rhythm
through my
of my
hands. You know, sometimes I can't hold the energy of my being within me,
Whoa.
and it just comes out into my fingertips. Sorry about it.
Hey, it's fine. I like it.
Sorry, not
it's
sorry.
soothing. I mean, it's soothing.
Soothes me.
Soothes the savage beast.
I'm a
But
smooth sayer.
so again, back to serial killers.
Okay.
Your glasses look like Dahmer.
They
the
do.
series is amazing. Okay.
Series
so
is good. It's real good. It's slow, but
It's slow in the way of,
good
like,
way of slow for me.
It
It's not for
builds
everybody, though.
up. I noticed it in one of the episodes of how much it was not focused on Dahmer, and that whole episode
Yeah.
was focused on another. I mean, no spoilers, but like maybe spoiler alert. So like, fast forward 10 seconds
I mean,
if you need to.
it
But
was a news story.
it was a
long
news
time
story.
ago.
Right, that's true. Yeah. It showed a guy who was deaf. It showed his backstory, and there was an episode of basically like his origin story.
Right.
And so in the way of you saying it's slow, that I understand for the average like person, but for
Right.
people that like the deep dive of something, it
Like
gives
if
you the
you're wanting to watch
emotion
it
of
like,
the
oh, here's a
other-
good Halloween show to watch. No, it's not
Yes.
that.
Right,
It's
right.
more of like a drama. It's like
yes.
it gets into
That's-
the dynamics of the events that happened and
Right.
like
But that slowness
it's
is
not-
building that
yeah.
backstory to make the connection
Right.
that you should feel, because a lot of times, and that's something that I think they did really well in this series, but also something that they've been criticized for that I've read in reviews, was how harsh it is. Because of how
I mean, how do you do it without
right.
being harsh?
I mean, okay, so you watch a movie like John Wick, right? Okay. Obviously,
John Wick's
just like
fantastic.
this, yes, just like this
love
podcast
John
is
Wick.
fantastic and it's action packed, right? It's
This
I'm gonna
podcast?
finger guns. Yeah, our podcast.
yeah,
action
we got lots of action.
If you thought about the backstory of every person that John Wick killed in a series, in one individual film, how many backstories would you have to trace in origin?
Hundreds of backstories.
And so, okay, right. So you just have to look in perspective, like where people are saying,
you got to zoom in.
You have to zoom in. See,
You got to
that's
zoom in.
Exactly
We were talking
it.
about that earlier.
And why do you zoom in? Because you have to investigate further. Okay.
Right.
Well, when you watch your average horror film and the blonde who is obviously going to die finally gets her death, you're like, oh man, I saw it coming, right? Because this is a fictional character, and in your mind you're watching. But in Dahmer, it really gives you that feel of like who this person was, and it does make you.
That's good. I mean, that's
uncomfortable. And
great that they do that because it
Yes.
focuses on the victims instead of glorifying the predator.
That is something
Which
that I
is like
thought
some
was
of the-
really cool.
That's when the serial killer fascination stuff gets a little bit disturbing. It's like, the psychology of it is like fascinating because it's so foreign to you that it's fascinating. That's a healthy fascination.
Yes.
Whereas they did my favorite murdering is
Right.
That's that's
so-
a different okay, now let's have a talk about if this is healthy or not.
My
because,
house is more Ed Gein chic. I
Yeah.
love to have skull bowls
I
around.
love to have lampshades made out of face.
and I like to upholster with human flesh. I
love upholstery. I love learning about serial killers.
So it's just a fascination that's carried over into my life.
And maybe if you're a hardware person,
Right.
Dahmer might be your thing. He used power tools for the brain.
Something that I
things.
always wondered about the drill, and it's addressed very, very well. And I didn't realize though.
Trust me, it's not a drill. Go
I
ahead,
didn't
though.
realize how many times he had brushes with the cops.
Oh,
And it just and
just
I've
went
watched
away.
so
It
much.
just went away.
I have learned
how?
so much serial killer knowledge in my life, which is again weird. We can acknowledge it.
I feel like I keep hitting my nose because I've got my allergies, and I feel like
a booger, and so he just
I
wants
feel
to
like
get it out.
no, it's not a booger. It's just constantly. I feel like it's about to drain. So it's like me. Oh,
It's
I
a
need
pre-
to. It's a premeditative move, and I just hate it because I know that people see me do it now.
Or they're listening and they've never heard it, and you just made a thing out of nothing.
Well, listen. But I also want them to know. I want them to know everything. I want them to zoom in on the conversation.
That's true. That's true.
Me doing this to my nose.
I had an eyelash a minute
Makes
ago
me-
that I pulled out while we were talking.
Oh, you should have mentioned it.
But no, because I was just that good. If you rewind the tape 5 minutes, there was a moment where we were talking and I felt it almost go into my eye. And that's how professional I am.
Oh man, you carried on. With
I
it. You did a
carried
really
it
good
going,
job.
and I was in mid conversation, and
You're really
but it's okay. It's okay.
You're really good at your craft.
I know. I take this seriously.
All right, continue telling me how you love murder.
But so I love murder.
Okay.
No, the show Dahmer. I just think I really wanted to kind of just draw a parallel between your glasses and how creepy you stare into the camera sometimes, and also that Dahmer is really good. Creepy look
Fair.
right there I can see it. Yeah, see when he stares right at the camera, it is just Dahmer.
I like it.
You do?
I mean,
You like?
I don't like Dahmer. I don't want to.
Maybe it's why when we made the short film where you hatcheted me,
Yeah.
you played the murderer so well.
Maybe.
Like you just had the look in your eye.
Maybe I've got hidden murderer in me. Who knows? I don't know.
Hidden murder.
Okay, hidden murder.
You just didn't discover it yet.
I got my little tiny murderer that lives inside me.
Little tiny murder.
Everybody has them.
Everybody has it. We all have it. So where I was gonna start today was first of all, let me just say, I'm not that guy. Okay, that
if you have to start it out with...
No.
I'm just going to say, if you have to start it out with "I'm not that guy," chances are I'm probably going to think, "Oh, you're being that guy."
When I'm done, you'll understand what I'm saying. When you let me speak.
Well, go ahead. I'm just telling you how it's going to end.
I'm just telling you.
Just telling you what's going to happen. Go ahead. Keep on
I'm not the guy that like tells somebody, "Oh, bro, there's a new app," or "There's an app and you got to download it." Like, "Oh, dude, here, your phone here, like, face, give me. I got to put the app on your phone right now."
You're being too physical with your.
I'm just saying.
I felt
just
uncomfortable. There was a vibe. Okay, go ahead.
But you know those people.
I'm going to keep this over here now.
Okay, first of all, let's acknowledge that you have met at least one person in your life.
No one take my phone from me ever.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's
like you're taking my child from me
and someone,
or something. I don't know why.
Or if it's sitting next to you and someone just reaches over and grabs it and says, "Hey, can you unlock it?" Like the feeling when someone else grabs your phone, it's like that's like my keys.
It's like my
wallet.
I have nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
like,
nothing
I'm an open
to
book.
hide. I'm an open book.
You can like.
But for some reason, taking that away from me is like,
I don't.
Whoa, no, don't do that.
Yes,
because I guess it's an impulse. It's sort of. You know what though? I use it though for note taking, lyrics, all this thing. So it's almost like someone taking my like diary away too, though.
Oh, my notes section is
out
of order.
I've already told you that if I prematurely pass away, please
save the notes.
No. Well, you can save the notes if you want to.
I'm gonna use
but just delete my audio memos.
Oh, yeah. Because it's just you.
Because it's me just humming into it, like with like ideas for melodies or like song.
But that's
lyrics.
amazing because that's like
no, it is.
I've got the same thing.
I love it, and I'm fine with it, obviously. But anybody ever heard that, they'd think that I was crazy because I just like it's like an unfiltered, like no one's around. I can unfilter, sort of work this out manually.
It's like in the car, sort of recordings of just singing.
Yeah,
I get that. I have those too.
Which I guess
I have some.
I need to strive to not be embarrassed by something
at the
like
piano
that.
And like making noises like while playing, just so I can try to remember it. Because I come up with like cool piano parts all the time, and I just never remember them. So I've learned to just hit record, play it, and then at least I can go back if I want to.
Yeah, of course.
I just play
it's necessary. It's like to not do that, you're like
a Muppet.
You're very much like a Muppet. Yeah. To not do that is a disservice because.
But those people. There are those people in your life. Someone has recommended an app to you before, and then they were just obnoxious about it. They're like, "Did you get that yet? Did you get it?"
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not that guy. But there's one app that I love to use every day, and it's called CoStar. And
I was right. You're that guy now.
If you don't use it, you should totally check it out. Just because.
It is awesome. It's
Star. It's like if you're into astrology and like.
You're saying this like it's an ad, but it's not an ad.
It's not at all. Yeah, like seriously, like this is not an ad for the app in any way, shape, or form. I just love this thing a lot, and I opened it earlier, and when I read it, I started to read it, and I was like, no, I'm going to save this because this is interesting. So just like my headline for today is "Survival is not theoretical; it is something you take part in every single day."
That's true.
Okay, so then we're going to click into it, and I want to know my whole daily. So it tells you, first of all,
it's very philosophical.
Power in, and then it has pressure in and trouble with, just so you know what you've got going on. So I've got power in routine, thinking, and creativity and self, pressure in social life, trouble with spirituality, and sex and love. You have to say it like that. Sex and love. And sex and love.
Because I can't say the word sex without joking around about it. Is that some kind of psychological thing?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Deeply rooted. Yes. So this is my whole thing. Today, there's a little person in your head saying that it is self-centered to assert yourself. It's not.
Maybe it's your little murderer in your head.
It might be your little murderer. You just need to learn that your well-worn paths are the same thing as masters. Go easy. Don't externalize your distress. All you have to do this month is playfully explore other people's thoughts and perspectives.
Okay.
This is a commendable move for someone who will agree in order to avoid an argument. God, yes, I will. Yep. I hate arguing. I will shut it down. I'll start singing to get out of an argument. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just let it end.
All of the things on CoStar are so philosophical, but also somehow legitimately
there's an algorithm realistically.
How you are feeling, how I'm feeling during the day most of the time. It is like I can definitely take a more personal connotation with it. Yeah. Like whether that's just like I don't know what it is.
It's eerie.
It's like, mine.
I'm not done yet.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Oh, no. I just had to take pause because that was just a really good one, a commendable move for someone who will agree in order to avoid an argument. Yeah. Absolutely. I will. I'm that guy.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I'm a Virgo, man. I'm sensitive. I don't like arguments.
I hate them.
Try to be really explicit about your personal strengths. Name them. Exercise them. Use them. The general theme of your life during this period is to get in touch with the subconscious patterns of your mind that carry from your past. Sentimentality conceals life's complexities. Sentimentality.
Yeah.
And life's complexities.
That's brilliant.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And
it's
so
pretty much saying like, if you're doing something and you have this real emotional attachment to it to where you're just so like overcome with emotion about it, you're going to miss big parts of it because such high emotion is going to cloud you from the experience itself. We were talking about this the other day. Like,
yes,
it's absolutely. Like that roller coaster experience kind of thing. Like, roller coasters are awesome, but you go up and down. And if it's like your first time you ever rode it, you have such adrenaline that you don't really even remember anything about it. You just remember the feeling that it gave you more so. But the more you ride it, the less that you're more used to that sensation. So you're like, here's where that turn comes up ahead. This is my favorite part because it always jerks me this way.
Yep.
It's
I don't know.
Zooming in.
Yeah. It's what?
Zooming in.
I mean, yeah, we've said that earlier about zooming in, and it's seriously the truest thing ever. Like we were watching a thing about the infinite.
Yeah, Trip to Infinity. It's like a Netflix doc that just came out.
Circles within circles. And how a large circle and a small circle at some point, because they are perfect circles and they all have so many turns that you don't think about within a circle because you're zoomed out.
Yeah, it's
like if you zoom in close enough to a circle, you see where at some point it has to like bend a little bit.
Yeah, you got to, but you got to squeeze in hard enough.
But you have to keep zooming in and zooming in out. And so that we've started like framing a lot of things with that, and
it's like
honestly,
there is an
really
angle there,
crazy.
but there's not an angle there.
Right.
I don't know if this is making sense to anybody. We might since we just watched it. I feel like it's in our heads,
fresh,
and I don't feel like
if you're not,
I don't feel like I know enough about all the things to make
not at all. But at the same
thoughts about
time,
it. But at the same time, it's fascinating, and I'm going to talk about it anyways.
Yeah, like circles have angles, and you don't think about that, but they do.
But they don't.
Oh, I know.
That's like infinity is like a real thing, but it's also not at all because it's a theory, but it's also
that was the one that got me was infinity plus math equation. Infinity plus infinity equals infinity. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you take away the first infinity and the equals infinity,
because they would negate each other in the math equation.
The plus infinity would go to zero.
Yeah. Like it would be infinity equals zero. But you could also have an equation where it was like infinity plus 1 would equal, you would think infinity plus 1 would equal whatever, but since it's infinity, it equals infinity. Which by turn, you cancel out the infinities and you're left with 1. So infinity is 1 and it's also nothing. So it's everything and it's nothing.
It's documentary.
Basically.
It's
good. It's real good.
I'm going to like even...
If you like thinking about weird abstract shit, it's
absolutely
really awesome.
I'm going to rewatch the part that like we watched like the first 30 minutes of it this morning after he watched it last night. And I was sucked in. He was like, "Oh, just watch the first couple minutes. This one part is really cool." But I got sucked in and I'm going to restart it to rewatch it because
it's really cool.
Just I love documentaries.
How did we start talking about infinity on here though?
Black holes, and we're talking about our co-stars.
Oh yeah,
and how Dead on it is. And zooming in.
Zooming
and then
in.
coming to zooming in. What does your co-star say?
Lying to preserve someone's feelings is reckless.
Lying. Okay, yeah, to save someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Telling a lie
That's the truth.
in order to make someone feel better is reckless because, I guess,
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Checks out.
they keep going down a path.
Yeah. You're not helping them correct, just like you would like for
But
someone
who's to
to
say
help
that
you.
I need to help anybody
I mean,
correct? You
well-
know? That's another issue altogether. Today is tough. You can't seem to access your creativity. There's a difference between your niche
knew there was
interests
something
and the
so
way you
creative
use them as personality. Don't intellectualize.
Just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that, especially when we
Oh.
podcast sometimes. You can get in this thing like, oh, what am I going to say? And then you're like, no, I just need to like let things say.
Yeah, we've really just kind of learned that like making a structure doesn't work.
Your work this month is to understand the difference between opening up and self-protection. When you brood, you undermine yourself. Leave the past where it lies.
Good
That's
advice.
always good advice. The
Yeah.
broader focus of your life during this time is to see love as an experience that can transcend reality and transform your life completely. Sex is nothing without trust.
Oh. Coming in deep right at the
Coming in
end.
deep.
Sex is nothing without trust.
Without trust.
Sex is nothing.
Dude, I love
without trust.
co-star.
Me too. That last line could
It's
be
fun.
that's a cologne ad. Because remember, sex is nothing
Without trust.
without trust. And trust is the name of the
Yeah.
Sharing Yours with Friends cologne.
There you go. Trust.
Sex is nothing without trust. Sorry, I had to say it one more time, just in the deep voice. It's fun.
Okay. It is fun. It's
yeah,
fun to do.
CoStar is one of the best apps that, like, again, has like actually, there are apps like Waze that help you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one that like
it's good. It points you. It points you. At
Yeah.
things. If you're looking for it, it'll point you.
I'm very minimalist, especially on my phone. And on my homepage, there's only 8 apps,
Yeah.
and it's one of them.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
only 8 apps that I use every day.
I like it. It's good.
That,
It's
like-
like I use it as a tool, sort of, to like. People say, "Oh, they wrote that so it could
It's
pertain to
generalized.
anything." But
Yeah.
but that's the beauty in it.
That is the
It's
point.
like it's meant for like self-reflection.
Exactly.
So like if someone can encompass something in words for
Yep.
someone, and they can look at it and pull things out. I mean, it's like a
if you can
trick.
extract it and say, "Oh, that is a part of my
It's
life
like a
right
trick.
now
It
that I haven't
tricks
acknowledged."
It tricks you into looking into
Yep.
yourself,
That's
basically.
it. It's just an inward. It's just
you know?
looking.
So
deeper.
it can be mystical, or it can be that. I mean, that's a scientific thing. It sort of gets you
Deeper.
to look into yourself and figure out your own issues.
Yeah, that's
So-
true, and it does. Like the further you go into that, you start to realize, oh wait, all these problems that I had.
Right.
When I really break all of this down, at the end of the day, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
I think
Or
I can work through this one step at a time.
Yeah.
Because I think as humans, we tend to, I know I do because I have ADHD. I take everything at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I've got this week, I have to do this. So I feel that pressure
yeah.
of my week or my month, even month.
Yeah.
It could be the beginning of the month and I could have 10 million things to do, and they're later.
Right.
But at the beginning, I start stressed.
yeah, you do that.
It's so hard to just
You do that.
let it. Thanks.
No, I'm telling
You've
you.
seen it. I
mean,
know exactly. But
yeah.
to shed that and then to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to worry about that problem when it might not even
It's like
be a
you've made
problem.
it more
It's a
than you can
thing.
handle without
Exactly.
seeing if you could handle it.
Exactly. Without even getting there. Before, the work or the, event or whatever it is that I've got scheduled, the time away from doing whatever,
Yeah.
of being lazy, it's so daunting sometimes. And it's like,
Oh, for real?
Wait, I don't
know.
get my own free time
Yeah.
because I have to do this
It's-
and this responsibilities. Oh, I'm going to take all the heaviness right now instead of spreading it out amongst the time. that-
No, but you carry it with you.
appropriately.
It's like you bring it all in at once, and
I know.
then you just sort of let little droplets
Yep.
out, like you're some kind of prisoner trying to get rid of your escape route you've made in your jail cell out in the yard.
Yeah.
You're just carrying around,
Come
letting
on.
it go sporadically over time.
Yeah.
But you don't
That's
need
a
to
pretty
pick it up
good-
in the first place.
Yeah. You
That's the
don't
thing
wanna
with
follow
the
back. You don't want to follow back.
astrological stuff too. It's like the horoscope stuff. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
think of horoscope stuff as a meme, because
Right.
it can be meme worthy at times.
For sure.
Because
That's
my goodness,
where we're at in life right now. Memes are everything.
yeah.
Meme
But if you
life,
have that
everything's
kind
meme.
of thought of it, I can see where people would be like, "Oh
Yeah.
God,
Oh, that's silly.
horoscope app." But if you
Hey, this ain't your...
if you
This
you,
ain't
if
your
you read
parents'
it in a way of like
This ain't your
figuring
parents'
yourself out.
tarot app.
this ain't your
This ain't your
tarot app.
parents' astro
I think
app.
those things are super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same way with meditation. Like for the longest time, I would think
Absolutely.
of meditation as like, so you just sit there and you like close your eyes and you think happy thoughts or something,
Yes.
or you don't think. But it's not even that. Like once you do it for a while, like even if you think that,
You can learn to meditate during the day.
at some point you
while
realize like,
you're-
oh, I know what the meditation's for now.
It's so that I can bring myself back to this right
I
here.
get it.
Calm.
Oh, I get it. It's for me to like shut the fuck up.
Yes.
And for me to like let my brain not think of 5,000 things at
Yes.
once. It's for
We
it's
forget
for
that.
silence and for me to like listen to myself. That's what it's for.
It's exactly what it's for. But we
I never
acknowledge-
listen to myself.
Nope. Dude,
Yeah.
we rarely listen to ourselves. We think we do. We always think we're following.
And then you got to start being honest with yourself,
Yes.
and that's when it gets really
That's
hard.
that is the
Because you
part.
face those truths that you don't want to face because they come out because it's like, all right,
yep.
everything's quiet. Here's some shit.
I guess I better deal with
Yeah.
this. I guess
Here's some stuff that you need to
make
you
some
really need to go
space
over this.
here. See, this kind of this. It's funny. It's how I explained it to Eva. I said basically, you're storing anxieties,
Right.
things that haven't happened yet,
You're collecting them.
that might happen in the future, that you might have now. What you're doing is you're taking them, and in your brain, you've got this little jar.
Yeah.
Right? So like one jar full of worry right there on
Yeah.
the shelf, you know? And you're taking these and you keep bottling all these different anxieties. Like, oh man, I might have to do this in a month. Put that up there.
Yeah.
Close it back up. Okay. You come back to it, you know, and you keep adding and building
Exactly.
into this like medicine cabinet of anxieties that's up here. And you purposefully do this, even though you never take the time
Yeah.
to go back to it and
Oh, I didn't
Pull
need
one
that
down.
I didn't need that one. I can get rid of these. No, they're gonna stay right here.
and unpack. You have to open it up sometimes and spread it out and say, okay, here we go. We're
Well,
gonna sort
but that's
this.
another thing. Is
But
like
that's the thing. You just didn't like that.
no, with myself though. With myself, it's like I think I want to know the future so bad.
Well,
like I want to be
yeah.
able to say like
Don't we
I
all?
knew that was going to happen. That I create
Don't we
all
all?
possible outcomes in my head, the good and the bad, and then I just focus on the bad.
You've already run the scenario 10,000 times.
Yeah, so it's
Like that show, The Rehearsal, except you've done it in your head.
it's like no, that thing didn't happen, but it felt
Yeah.
like it happened.
Yep.
So
And it felt like it went really
kind of
badly, even
happened.
though it didn't happen or go badly because nothing happened yet. But you've already felt that disappointment of when it goes
Yeah.
wrong. If that were whatever,
It's
like
crazy, man. It's stupid the way the brain will work sometimes.
it is.
But that's what I will say for meditation. It's like training your brain to silence a bunch of stuff out and get to the
Exactly.
core. So once you touch that, you're like, oh, I can reach this.
And I think that
I can get to a point where all this shit's not like, I'm not doing this needless, like all these worst things that can happen and playing them out over in
Yes.
my head.
I've always heard people say that it's hard for them to meditate, and I get it because it used to be hard for me to meditate because I thought the same way. Oh, do I sit like this? Do I have
Yeah.
to like?
You've just got to be
There's a
still
lot
and
of
quiet.
ways to meditate. First of all, like there's
Yeah.
the chant. Some people like to chant over and over, and that helps them. There are a lot of methods to focus yourself, and you eventually
Yeah.
learn how to just like Derek said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Everything
seriously,
just shuts up.
You want to get into meditation? Look
Alan
into
Watts,
it later.
man.
Start out with just setting a timer for 30 minutes and saying, okay, I'm going to sit here with my eyes closed and not say anything or move until this
But
timer
also, I'm
goes
not going
off.
to try to fall asleep. I'm not going to sit here and like just like don't sit there and say, I'm going to get
People
so
are like,
relaxed.
I can't do it. I can't quit thinking. I'm like,
Right.
that's the point.
Exactly.
It's like you just got to.
But you can.
Eventually, it will.
Yes.
It'll stop. It's like there's this fire that just keeps dwindling. The longer you sit there, that fire just goes down and down and down and down slowly. And eventually you're like, oh, everything just went away.
But once you sort of learn to channel that part of meditation, I have found like, so for me, I meditate every day, but I don't do it necessarily the same.
No, I don't either.
Like,
I mean, you can
my
meditate
meditation
anywhere.
happens in my daily runs now.
That's a great way to meditate, I think.
And
mean,
I
a lot of
didn't
people do that.
realize it at first, but then I started realizing that, like, okay, so I would start out and I would purposefully start thinking about something and like trying to work through it. Before I knew it, you know, I'd like check my watch, see like how long, distance, whatever. I was already like back to the thought, oh, I was already thinking of something different.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd already worked through something and like I'd already moved on.
Yeah.
But because I was just sort of like going through the motions almost, like I had kind of forgotten when I shifted gears into another like
you give it space,
part
man.
of the conversation in my brain. And so I realized, okay, hey, I'm gonna run.
Well, it's because
You guys talk amongst yourselves, and I think that's what it was doing.
you're moving your attention and your focus to your body.
Yes.
You're channeling that so that you can make
And the
your
breathing
muscles
probably
move
does help.
And that's taking up a
breathing-
lot of your energy and your attention.
Yes.
So
And once your attention is
so you
gone to
kind of
something
put
else,
this a little bit more on autopilot, and then it's able to like, okay, here we go. You're not staring at me right now. I can
when
let
it
some of this
first
stuff go
sort
through
of
it.
came to me, I realized it was happening, and I was like, "This
Yeah.
is crazy. This is why I feel so good every day when I get back, because this is the time that I'm actually working through things and not on my own.
Yeah.
Like the subconscious mind is working through some stuff that it needs to just like, it needs me to just say, hey, I'm going to be back here.
Yeah.
I'm going to run. You go ahead. Think through.
Yeah, but there's always things to get over in meditation too, because now that you think that, it's like, I bet there's some times where you're like, you expect that clarity, and if it's not coming the way you want it to, you're like, well, why am I not feeling this way today about the run? It's because you're shooting for, you've got a goal in mind.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. And I mean,
if you've got a goal in mind, you haven't allowed yourself to like,
and that's the
stop focusing.
The full
on
stop
something.
for a lot of people. That's the handbrake. Is like the thought of meditation stops them.
That's
because
why
starting
it
is hard.
That's why they say, okay, do that as many times as it takes, but just go back to your breathing. So you inhale, and as you inhale, you think one, and as you breathe out, you think one, and then you think two, and then eventually you drift off again, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm meditating now. And then you'll be like, oh, wait, now I'm not, because I just noticed it. So you go back to your breathing, and it's just a constant stream of that. And that's why it's hard for people.
Yes.
But it's
Because
also
people give
like,
up
it's also like training your something that way, though. It's like you train any muscle. It's like
That's
the more
true.
you do it,
you're working it
the
out.
easier it becomes, and the more problems you see and that you face in trying to silence. But that's a good thing. It's because if your problems are bigger, it means you've gotten over
You've passed
the problems
another hurdle.
you thought were big.
Exactly. There was like
Yeah.
you took some of those.
It's like a new horizon. It's like, okay, well, let's see what's behind this.
I can take
one.
all these down now. Those can all go away.
Yeah.
And then look, you've just cleared up a bunch of your anxieties and didn't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Meditation really does, man. One that helped me was the meditation
fantastic.
where you close your eyes and you visualize the third eye, right? And you visualize that it's foggy because at the moment you need to clean it. And you slowly visualize that third eye becoming clean.
Yeah.
Over the course, this is a guided meditation, and over the course of like 15 minutes, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like one of those it was like that. I think it's the Alan Watts.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite one.
The one that
If you just type Alan Watts meditation in YouTube, it'll be like one of the first ones that comes.
What is it called? Past life regression.
No, that's not the past life regression one.
There's one past life regression that we found, and
Was it Jack Kornfield?
it was one of the best, most interesting. Like I have never in my life, like I've done tons of guided meditations. I've never really used apps. I've tried a few different ones, and they didn't really work for me. So I just had to like do it myself, learn how to do it. But there was this one guided meditation that was on past life regression. And if I remember it, I'll link it because it was, I did it multiple times and to a lot of similar results. What it's meant to do, like past life regression is like going back and seeing like in this hypnotic state of like meditation, what is the imagery and other things that lead you to believe what lives, I was going to say life, but lives you've had before this one.
Right.
And I remember mine, I've done it 2 times where both times got cut short because like I came to awareness with like, whoa.
Yeah.
The first time was really weird because I got a bunch of triangles, which I didn't know really what that was supposed to mean. I was also felt like traveling over water, which is weird only because I've always felt like in a past life I was definitely a boat captain of some sort.
Yeah. Okay.
I would live on like that kind of like, I mean, one of my favorite movies of all time, Life Aquatic, with Steve Zissou. Like I love like that sort of
love
Jacques
the feeling
Cousteau
of being on the sea.
Yes. I do.
Like,
I do.
The
I love
romanticism of it and stuff.
Exactly. And the old like ship captain,
right?
You know, with like the, you know, they played it best in the style in The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That was the old school kind of character that I like could see myself having been like the 1800s or whatever. Or even earlier. But like I know at some point in time, because of that like past life regression, I felt like, okay, something to do with pyramids is what I was thinking with triangles. I don't know. Maybe that was like showing that I was one of the...
Well, I mean, geometric symbols are just very commonplace.
But the water definitely gave me this weird feeling of like, yep, that's what I did. I was a ship captain. I knew it. So at some point, maybe it was Vikings. I don't know.
Water can mean lots of things, though. You know, water is like it's an alchemic process as well. And
that's right. It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there
with sulfur and salt. Yeah.
Air. We sound pretty hippy dippy right now talking about all this stuff, I'm sure.
So if you look right here, we've got the water. Sorry.
I was about to say something. I forgot totally what I was about to say though.
No, water can stand for a lot of things. Yeah. In especially like a meditation like that where you're being talked into this like almost hypnotic sort of like meditative state, but you're taking in what you're hearing. And you're seeing these things that are supposed to be like a link to your past.
Yeah.
Did you see things?
Yeah, but
similar?
It's like you can't. Why do you see them? Why is that in there?
I don't know. It's really strange because I have known 3 or 4 people that I passed this along to right when I first did it because it blew me away.
Yeah.
And every single one of those people by the next day said, "Well, I did that. I woke up." Or like came to awareness like about 20 minutes in. That's generally like where I was about 20 minutes into it. So I've still never completed it. I've never gone all the way through it.
I had a short one, but it's real weird. I don't even like to say it because it's like I don't know what it means. But it was like for some reason Egyptian, and it was like this tower, and it was like I was circling up this tower, and there were people walking up around this spiral tower.
Ooh.
And there were also babies. And that's what I got until I was like, what is going on in my head right now? Why am I thinking this? And I sort of scares you.
Yeah.
It's because you're like,
there's babies.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking it. Where is it coming from? Because it's so abstract and odd.
That's true. That is very abstract and odd.
Sometimes I think we stop ourselves from going.
Me too.
From letting ourselves get too deep because we feel like it's almost
why
like
I think my brain jolted me back.
It's almost
both times.
like you feel like you're dying.
Yep.
Kind of. Like
it's
if
that
you
moment of like,
there
I'm feeling too much. I'm feeling too much.
If you start feeling so much, you're like, oh, I need to stop feeling that. I need to stop getting down that hole because I'm getting down.
It's the game I used to play when I was a young kid. I would lay in bed and say, oh, what does it feel like? I wonder if I can imagine like before going to sleep. I wonder if I can like quit thinking about everything and like feel what it feels like to be dead. I wonder what it feels like to be dead.
Yeah.
Oh, too close.
Yeah, I would do that. It would scare the shit out of me.
Yes,
I had such a weird death. I had such a weird death fear.
Yes,
It was
too.
like I would sit in
terrified,
bed
dude.
and I would think about it, and I would get so scared that I would make up a reason to go to my mom or dad's room to tell them I was like I needed something, like I wanted to be around somebody because
you felt so
and
deeply.
dude, I even had that like
I don't want to feel that.
I even had
feel
that
to you.
sometimes every once in a while as an adult.
Oh, I've done it a few times. Yeah,
I mean, when I say every once in a while, I meant a lot as an adult up until a certain point.
yeah.
Now, I never really have that anymore.
I've stopped kind of doing it. I've kind of just like, I'm not going to say that I've come to peace with like the whole death thing, because no, I hate that idea. Hate that.
Yeah.
Hate that.
But I think if you change your
on this
perspective,
side of fucking terrified of that.
I think somehow I'm slowly changing my perspective on what death is.
Yeah, I know you've taken a different sort of like, the spiritual approach.
It's hard to say.
Where
More of a
the soul
philosophical
goes out
approach.
back into the right. And I get all of this, like, where did the energy come from? It has to go somewhere, so it goes back out. And I get all of that.
Yeah,
But like I think I just fucking love living. That like
you do, but
I fucking love living.
you also
So the thought of this stopping is like instant. That's terrifying.
But on the other side of that, if this is the best it can be, isn't that more depressing?
If this is so, you're saying that like what happens after we shed this mortal coil?
Like to think
When
that
we
things
pass
could
on.
only get so good, and then as a human, and then
Right.
you die, and then it's done.
Right.
Stuff's got to get somehow
I
more
mean-
interesting, right? Like that's
I don't know.
That's
I
so
don't-
lame. That's so boring.
I don't know exactly.
There's too
That's the
many
part.
weird things in life and mysteries and
Yeah.
just stuff that we just ignore that are just like, why are we ignoring this?
Oh,
This
so
is-
we're not going to talk about that.
This is
All
this
of
is
that back there?
insane. We're floating on a rock in some space that we don't even know what this shit is.
Just the fact that we're even here.
Dark matter, what is it? We don't know, but it exists.
But it
it's the
exists,
same thing
and
as the concept of infinity. It's like we know it's
that-
there. We can
that's
we can
just-
use it
that
to
concept of
calculate
infinity.
things, but we haven't really found out what it is.
And
yet.
also, even if
don't
you
know.
say
It's-
you understand it, you can't.
Yeah.
You
like
the
you
things we
never-
were watching earlier. I was thinking that about one of the mathematicians. Like, okay, yeah, I know you've got a lot more, studying.
you got more,
Maybe you got a lot more
you got
studying
lots more
on your
learning
side,
to
but
you.
you got lots more learning. But I don't I know I'm dumb, but to a point, I'm not. Right.
Right.
So like, I've seeked out a lot of this knowledge and stuff too, but I can just sometimes say I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hear someone like this mathematician, talking so confidently about like, this is just how infinity is.
Right.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because you also don't know. You're talking like, I know you're a professional at this, and that's awesome. And I'm glad you guys made this documentary because it's
Everybody's
warping my
arguing
brain.
over hypothesis.
Yes.
Hypotheses.
Hypothesize.
Hypotheses.
Hypotheses. And so I'm just like, I know I don't know, but you also really don't know. You know more than me, but you don't know.
Right.
But you're telling me like you know, but it's unknowable,
Like,
though.
But
it's just unknowable.
But you can
It's
know
just the
to an
world.
extent.
It's just the world.
It's just the world.
Like it all comes back to the. It's just
Well, no one completely understands anything. There's
No.
just a place where we stop trying to understand it.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that a lot of people.
I've played music all my life. I understand
Yeah.
music really well.
Well,
But I will always be able to understand more about something
Right.
that I'm doing.
oh, of course, yeah,
if I keep
when it's
trying
active.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you stop and you're like, know all I need to know to get by.
Well, yeah. For
then you
example,
never
you started by playing
get
guitar.
better.
You have always wanted to play drums, but you never allowed yourself to play drums until about 3 years ago, maybe. And now you play drums like you've played since.
No.
For a lot, no.
But I'm a lot better than
but
I
you
was.
do. But you do though. You play like some drummers that have played. I mean,
you just
okay,
gotta
okay.
play it until it makes sense. Like
Hey,
you gotta
man.
do things until it makes sense, and not say, "Well, it just doesn't make sense to me." You just gotta keep doing it until
Not
it
all
does.
drummers are Dave Grohl and me, right? That we're just born knowing
true.
how to play
Born,
drums. And
Savants.
we're just so good at it that like we can.
Yeah, you're not egotistical whatsoever. Go
No,
ahead.
none.
None.
Do you think Dave Grohl has any ego? That guy seems like the sweetest guy.
Wasn't talking about
but
him.
he knows he is the best. He knows he is one of two of the best drummers in the world. He knows that. He knows number two exists out there, and he just doesn't know who it is. But anyway, that's neither here. No,
he knows who
no,
you are. He knows who you are. By God,
that's true. He does.
He might never say it, but he knows.
Bad. That's neither here nor there. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, as a seasoned drum pro, in just 3 years, I've seen you get as good as drummers that I know who have played literally the length that I have.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, you didn't want to stop learning music. So, like, you started learning bass. And then that rhythm part tied you to, like, drums.
Right.
And so then your brain opened to a whole new understanding of, like,
you just got to follow
this is how that
things.
works.
You got to just keep following it. Don't stop. And if it's something you love.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I had a stretch of my life where I stopped trying to better myself at being a musician and just was like, okay, I'm a musician now. I can do these things.
Yep.
But I wasn't learning.
But you stopped the process of pushing forward.
Pushing boundaries, pushing myself, doing things out of my comfort zone, like drumming. Like, because when I would get behind drums, I would feel so mechanical and weird that I was like, oh, well, I guess I just don't know.
But I could see it like on your face, though, you got in your head about it.
Yeah.
You used to.
It's because I want to be good now, but I wasn't able to do that. So I was like, oh, it's not for me. But that's what I'm saying is, like, if there's something you really want and it means something.
Anything you want.
Anything you want to do. Zoom in.
Zoom in.
I love that. That's another shirt.
That really is. Zoom in is a pretty good one.
I try to use that mentality a lot. Like that, I really do try to use that because, and it says in that documentary as well, so it just solidified it in my head.
It's also even more terrifying?
What?
Zooming out.
Yeah.
Because when you think you have problems and you zoom out, and you zoom out far enough and you start seeing other people's problems.
Sometimes zooming in is zooming out, though.
That's true.
Because
that's true.
I think you can understand more about society and everything if you know more about yourself. And I know that I didn't take really a lot of time to, like, figure out who I was. It was more so of just like, I'm on this ride called life and I'm just taking all these things that interest me and I'm just wearing them because I think that's what you're supposed to do.
I became myself, I think, like 2 years ago when I finally decided, like, oh wait, I've been trying too hard to, like, hold back things in me that I know I hate, like my ADHD and who I am as a person. Like, I just had this realization not long ago. Like, I was suppressing, like, who I was as a person and personality at the benefit of others. And I say it like that because was it? I don't know. I just learned this about myself through, therapy and shit. That, like, I was holding back, like, who I am, like, because of who I thought that it was perceived to look like. But I am just I definitely have people, I think, in my life who probably think, oh yeah, he does coke. Yeah. Checks out.
No, like, no one would think that.
He does coke. Sometimes I can, but there are times, though,
doing this from my nose this whole podcast, but
there are times. So that was because my bad influence on you before the show. Exactly. Sorry. No.
Exactly.
But
no coke done here.
That's what right. But I know that there have been people in my life in the past couple of years probably who have thought, like, okay, well, he talks way too fast and he is too worked up over everything. He's got to be on coke.
No, you just fired up, man.
Right. Exactly. But I suppressed that for like 30-something years of my life.
Yeah.
And when you realize it and you're like, oh, wait, I was like being...
It's like you don't know how to filter letting yourself out at first. There's like growing pains where it's like when you first realize that you can start being more yourself, it comes out in these weird bursts.
It does.
That sort of overwhelms everyone else around and yourself a little bit.
So.
And you feel sort of tired after you do it.
I think that's part of it, yeah. Like
I've had those times where we've been thinking about something, like trying to write something or do something, and I would get so like
involved
what
mentally.
If we do this? What if we do this? That by the time it's done, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just ran a marathon.
And I just wrote a verse.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, you can put yourself that deeply into something and anything that passionately. But that's
when you know you're working on it, though.
Exactly.
That's when you know.
That's when the hard work gets put in.
It really is. Like, if you really do start thinking about, fixing your whatever you are, fixing
yourself,
fixing the part of you that's not your body,
right?
The same way you would fix your body,
Yep.
like, and training yourselves in
Yep.
the things that you want to become and the things you love and take real stock in. And I think that you got to go through a period of soreness and stuff
I
too.
agree completely.
But the longer you do it, you find yourself hopefully becoming a better person, or at least living more
mindfully in the present,
mindfully, and
I
sort
find
of just
myself
like
doing that
sort
more
of
now,
being
instead
able
of worrying
to
about the future as much as I used
float a little bit more,
Yeah.
you know?
a lightness to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain days where I feel like I have that better than others, where I can just brush things off. Like,
I used to
don't
walk
bother
in the
me.
room and I would almost carry like everyone's
Yeah.
okay, feelings on me.
Everyone, over here. Feelings dump. Yep, put them on me.
Because
That's it.
the whole time you're
Well,
like
that's
trying to weigh and balance the things and the way you're interacting, and like
Nope,
I want to make
nope.
sure that I don't do this, and everybody comfortable, everybody good, everybody okay. Meanwhile, I'm like, I feel like I'm putting a production on inside my head.
Mental baggage right over here. I'll take everybody's. Yeah, I do that.
It's-
I do that. I literally, if I'm
Oh,
around
yeah.
somebody who is depressed or having like,
Yeah, let me
it
take
is
that
almost.
on.
It's almost like I feel like that would be my X-Men superpowers. Like, oh, you're depressed. God, let me have it.
Now we both have it. And I'm uncomfortable that you touched my head. Don't like it.
I hate life.
Don't like it.
I don't even have to touch. I can do it like Jean Grey. I think that was her name, right? Couldn't she do things telekinetically?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I
maybe.
think so. Maybe
I don't know a lot about comics.
I don't either. But so to pretend I do, don't even have to touch. I can just take it, and that's what I do. And I just like, oh hey bud, no, baggage over here.
Yeah.
Baggage over here. Put it on me.
Yeah.
Yep. On my back. Oh yeah, I'll take it. Hey, you. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll take yours too. And then we learn that we start doing that to like family, friends. When we are around people, we will literally carry that load of everyone's depression and anxiety and their problems and their troubles. And we find that like they are just stacking and stacking and stacking.
It's
and
like
stacking.
I'm
just like that
ignoring
medicine
my
cabinet, too.
own problems
Yes.
by putting yours on me,
Because
I'll get to them
I
later.
have so many other ones to get
But that,
through.
I mean, it's great
before
to
I
help,
get to
but that's not a
myself.
healthy way of helping.
Exactly.
You know?
I'll fix everyone else first, and then I'll come work on me.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. I've learned that.
Working on you is working on everybody else.
You know who's definitely working on himself right now?
Who?
Adam Levine. You ever heard of him?
That's a weird segue, but
I don't know. It just came to my head though, like the work, because we watched a video earlier. First of all, if you guys are content creators and you're making a YouTube video, and you know, for example, on like Adam Levine, who recently was accused of cheating on his wife, who is let's note this, Victoria's Secret model, with another lady who is an Instagram model. Sorry, just have to take a moment to just say that it's a career. That is a career name now.
Instagram model, yeah.
Instagram model is now a career. Okay? Just
make that money.
gotta, like that alone is
I know what you mean. I get really, it's like
hate
I don't
that.
understand it.
I don't either. I don't get why that's a thing. But again,
Not
okay.
my demographic.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
The world and the times are changing.
I am not the target market for that.
That's why
for
markets
that sort
change.
And you're right, and they do. YouTube video people, creators. Hey, make the video about what the title is, though. Like, just do it like that.
Well, yeah.
Because I was trying to watch, before we, talked about it today, because I've been following it the last week, the whole Adam Levine thing. Because let me just go ahead and say, he's a heartthrob. I love him. I've always loved Maroon 5. Like, got it since Kara's Flowers, his first band, which a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah.
Maroon 5 was a band before Maroon 5, and they were called Kara's Flowers, and they slapped.
It was good. It was real poppy.
Amazing. Kara with the K.
Like poppy punk,
Yes.
but not punk.
But it was really good. It was really good. And I loved it. And so, like, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, Adam. Oh, dude. Oh, no. But,
yeah.
oh. But so, like, watching a YouTube video to, like, catch up on the scandal and what's happened in the past week is, like, So, okay.
Give me a brief synopsis first, because I don't really know.
I'm giving you YouTube synopsis.
Oh, okay.
So Adam Levine is connected to Adam from Adam and Eve in the Bible. Okay, so like let's start there, right? So
did someone say that?
No, but dude, YouTube videos right now,
okay.
just
I would not doubt that would be
all I want is that though.
Yeah.
Is a 30-second explainer. Catch me up.
Yeah.
But instead it's like Adam Levine is related in part to Adam. And so the origin story starts with Adam and Eve back in the Garden of Eden. And so so you skip ahead and you skip ahead. So by now Moses has, and you're like, well, but stop. I want to know about Adam Levine. And the YouTube video is 15 minutes long and it's like the update on the scandal.
Yeah.
And I don't want all of the backstory. I just want to know. So there was a girl named Sumner, okay? Instagram model.
Instagram model.
It's so weird. That's a career.
We'll just have to live with it. We have to live with it. We have to live with
You're
what
right.
it is.
You're right. It is what it is. Instagram model. Keep in mind, he is married to a Victoria's Secret model. So 2 models there, just in case you were doing the math at home. So she released a video. Well, actually, she sent a text message to a friend of how she was like apparently his mistress for a year. And the friend leaked.
Or was trying to sell it to a tabloid.
Was trying, and it leaked, and trying to sell it to a tabloid, and it got out. So she just got ahead of it, kind of, after that big. And then she made a TikTok video, and in the background were the texts. And he at one point, her name was Sumner. He at one point said that he was having a child, and he was going to name him Sumner. So that's creep. There's a level of creep. You know, we've talked about Armie Hammer on here before, right? You know, and like Armie Hammer just slid into the DMs with like the creepiest of creeps, right? But like now we got Adam Levine sliding into those DMs and then naming his baby after the woman who is his mistress with his wife.
Let's be honest.
I'm just
here.
saying.
Let's stop. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of.
You said to catch you up. I'm trying to catch you up.
That's a lot of like.
Here we go.
Jumping to conclusions about things.
What parts? Because they're all proven.
Well, no,
with screenshots and stuff.
Okay, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That he cheated on his wife. I'm sorry, but I don't care. Like, why does that bother? Like, that should be a personal thing. Like, that's
agree.
personal
Right.
for every other person on the planet.
Right. Who's to say they don't have an understanding of?
It doesn't have anything to do
because it doesn't
with
matter.
anything.
It's true.
Now,
you're right.
And
you're
the
right.
thing where people are making a big issue of like wanting to name his son Sumner.
That's a big one. Yeah.
But I think like
it's kind of creepy.
I mean, he may have had it. I don't think he's naming it after her. I think it's like
you think he just
he
liked
got
the name
that
and it
name.
was
He likes
inspired
that
by
name
her?
and he heard it by her. And but he sent that. He's when you showed me that screenshot, he sent that thing saying, "Hey, like for real, if we have a boy, I kind of want to name him Sumner. I just want to let you know, make sure that you're okay with that."
But only because he knew her.
But because he had a past relationship with her,
right?
And
so he's
didn't
kind of memorializing this chick.
I don't think I think he's memorializing her.
Unless,
it would be to his wife. So that's the bad part about it.
Let me just say, I'm not bashing Adam Levine because I've always loved the guy. So
I'm not bashing or rooting for him.
Levine,
I just literally don't care about anyone's personal issues.
He also, I guess you didn't see enough of them. Bro, you look at Adam Levine, you're like, man, you got your shit pulled together. Like you know what you're doing. Like, bro, you've had a woman or two. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we can all agree that we can see Adam Levine. We'll have him pop up right here because we already know that he's Adam Levine. He can get women. He can get women, right? When he slides into these DMs, bro, he is like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Like
that's funny.
the way that he talks to these girls is like, oh, dude, you know, I really am a fan of your music, and I've really always kind of liked you. Oh, but dude, you're making me feel like some creeper. Like, you're.
I guess when you don't have to try hard at all,
and then it comes out, you know, that there's like 5 or 6 of them.
Anything that you want to. Like,
5 or 6 more come out against him and say, and he talks just as like dirty and kind of like weird and off.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but basically, like,
kinda,
okay, it wasn't a child.
Right. Well,
fine, do whatever you want to.
True.
Like, who's to
Yes.
say he and his
yeah.
wife don't have an open relationship?
And that's
like,
true.
I'm
That's
all
true.
for it. Like, don't
That's
be
true.
shitty, guys. Be faithful.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna
Just-
get married,
Hey, be cool.
like, do it for
Be
real,
cool.
and like, don't fuck other people.
Right.
And that's just never been a thing in my head. It's like, why would I would never do it. Would make me too. It would make me too.
You sound too rational, bro. You sound too just be cool.
Just
Just
but if you do it, like, take that up with your family. And why is
not for
there
the world.
such
It's
a
not for the
big
world.
news story about it? Why?
Because then he posted like his whole, thing saying he
I
and the
know,
family were
but
going to be working on it.
That's fine. They should.
And then 6 more girls came out, with their DMs with them. And then it's like, where does it end? Where does that end?
But in his defense, it's like, okay, I already said I'm working on it.
That's true. That is true.
You're bringing up more past. I
Right.
haven't done it since then, have
Right,
I?
right. I
So
don't know.
just fuck off.
Hard to say. It's hard to say.
Like, can we not work on
I'll
stuff?
text him later and ask him if he's still talking.
Can we
to me.
not work on stuff? Can you not do something crappy?
Can you not fuck up and then,
And then
make
realize
it, better?
it, apologize
and
for
become
it,
a better person.
and work on it without everyone assuming that you're just saying you're going to work on it and you're not going to work on it?
Because then it gets
Are we not allowed to do that anymore?
Marginalized
Did we
as-
put autocorrect on life?
Yeah.
Like, does
Oh,
everyone
that's a
have
good
to
way to
just
put
go
it.
ahead and autocorrect?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's true.
That
is kind of
it's
what
like
it
we
is.
are becoming the
Yeah.
society that we are creating.
Yeah.
And that's one of the downfalls of it.
Where like there's like second chances. Second chances. Oh, you're funny. It's that I mean, God,
It's weird.
it
It's
is
a
almost
balance
there.
between
'Cause-
like, yes, we do need a voice to call things out that are injustices, and that is a very important
do you
thing.
see the dynamic here though? But then you've also got people like Trump
Yeah.
who can just keep doing
Well, yeah.
and can never get. Not only can he not be canceled, but like
Some people are too big for the rules.
I
Apparently.
guess there's that too. But that's where it gets me. Is like, okay, so some people are
It's such a
small enough to-
hypocritical thing. And like, we're supposed to live with that? Like,
and that's life.
there are crimes that we can see.
Yes. Physical.
How are we
in front of us?
Okay, let's not get into
Yes.
politics.
We don't have to.
I'm
know.
talking about
just-
let's.
That- I was just
Trump
throwing
is a
out a person
metaphor
as,
for
like-
everything else in
Yes.
life. It's like sometimes you could just see people get away with all of this stuff,
for those of you that like, okay, for example, that like don't know what we're talking about. Earlier, we
but
were
then you
watching this
persecute
thing,
people for having an affair, which shouldn't even be a public issue whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, it's like he.
Like, yeah, he should feel bad about it.
Yes,
I agree.
Right. Well, yeah,
But
for
let
sure.
him feel bad about it,
and
without
but
like
let him work it
canceling
out,
them,
like
you know.
exactly. Let him and his family work it out, but like you don't have to go like throw away your Maroon 5 CDs if you still have CDs.
No.
Or delete them off of your like what. This is where
It's like if you found
it
a chunk of
becomes-
gold in a shitty looking cave, would you throw the gold away? No,
true.
you keep the art. The art is what you like about them. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what the vehicle for the art
Yes.
has done to his wife. It's like, I don't want to support a bad person and I don't want to support
Exactly.
that.
Right.
But
But there's a separation of
there
the two.
has to
There
be.
has to be a
there
separation.
has to be
of
a
the two.
separation. And I was bad about not being able to have
Me
a
too.
separation in the past.
Me too.
But man, you can't.
One of the
just-
first ones that were hard for me was
What's
the
the
band
line?
Brand New.
What's the line?
Like when it came out that Jesse Lacey of Brand New had done a bunch of stuff in his
20s, talk to people under the age of 18.
Right. When that came
Agreed,
out,
it's messed up.
yes. And when it came out, I remember thinking, "Oh, dude, he's just that sucks. I love his music so much, but he's just a sick pervert."
But he's probably not a
But he's
sick
not. I know
pervert.
exactly. And then I thought more about it, and I was like, "Wait." But this was like when he was touring. And
He's
he was in a
someone that
band-
never grew up at that point in time of
Right.
his life, and he was still acting like a kid
Yes.
mentally.
And that's so.
And
like,
it's not for. I mean, you
like,
don't have to forgive it.
I don't
but
want
you
to say
can-
that's okay, but like it. But it's okay. But it is. It was a part of him, and he can move past
like
that.
I don't know if he's changed, but I can
Right.
assume that he probably has,
Right.
or
Exactly.
I can say that there's a possibility that he will.
Right.
But we can't
But
let the
unless you give
possibility
someone-
go of redemption. You know,
Exactly.
we can't
Exactly.
just like burn somebody down
And then
without
they're just
giving
no
without a
longer-
chance. You just
Yeah.
can't.
And then they just
I mean, you can
cease to exist.
you can take the part of your out of your life if it's affecting you, but just to write somebody off for like something that
I know.
people do all the time. It's weird. It's
kinda-
weird. It's just
it
weird
is-
that
it
it's
is
such a
weird to-
story.
It's weird to think about just in.
It's
in
like it's
those
just
sort of-
as big as Army Hammer.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. It is. And Army Hammer was talking about eating people.
And I actually think this is bigger because I
Like,
actually heard about this,
eating
and I didn't really hear about the Army Hammer stuff that
which
much.
is that is.
But
like,
I don't. I don't have my pulse on page 6 really.
No,
I
and-
don't care anymore about any of it.
I don't either really like. I don't like watch news on
Celeb
TV
culture
much.
and stuff. It's just is so like white noise to me. I don't.
But I love like it's only intriguing to me when it's like Kanye West, you know, or someone who I like. I mean, like, you know, it happened to Adam Levine, and I was like, oh man, you know, I was even hoping like, no, this can't be true.
But I know you have but you've got friends in real life that have probably cheated on their significant other, and you don't stop being friends with him.
Right.
You probably have things like, I mean, he had his reasons because they had a really bad relationship and blah 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 blah.
You can explain
because you know more about the internal dynamics of that person.
True.
We have no idea about the internal dynamics between Adam Levine and his wife. So there's no.
That's very true. That's very true.
These opinion pieces on it are just annoying. It's like,
oh yeah, but
it's
all
like a snapshot in time of something you don't know everything about.
Yeah, yeah, and to that point of it being a snapshot in time, what isn't are current YouTube videos that try to explain you new and, you know, relevant news, because they like to take you as far back as like the Bible and then work their way from there up to today's scandal.
Yeah,
Get better. If you're making YouTube content and you're trying to, like, you know, get from point A to point B,
that's just people using like hot words to get viewers and hope that you are entertained by the other content as well.
Fucking fires me up though. Like, it makes me boil.
We put tags on this episode. Like, if we put tags about,
but we'll put things that are relevant to what we talked about.
Then
you know, and I feel like that's fair, because like someone looking to hear about it, they're gonna hear opinions. I mean, are our opinions do they matter? No, not at all.
No,
but no one's do except for Adams and his wife.
Yeah, when you stop taking yourself so seriously, you can stop taking everything else so seriously.
And that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Stop taking yourself so goddamn seriously, everybody.
Yeah, and let people mess up and then learn from it. That's what growth is. You don't grow if you don't overcome obstacles and face those inner demons and shit. Like, if you don't find out something about yourself that's crappy, then
you haven't looked
at yourself
at
all.
Because you remember that realization moment when you, like, in past years came across something about your personality or yourself that you just realized, and you were like, oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
That feeling alone,
like, I think
is
about
enough to let it go so fast. Like, when you realize it and you're like, oh, that I have that trait. Oh,
I think about how snobby I used to be about music and stuff, and how opinionated I would be. And now when I think about that, I'm so embarrassed by my
me too.
By my actions.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say, because it's not even that big a deal, you know? It's like a passionate kind of like, I really love this, so I'm fighting for it.
And I still feel that way to a point.
But now you're also, like, once you get used to it, you're like, wait, what? But I can have the love and not have the negativity and hate there, because that doesn't do any good whatsoever.
None. That literally.
I've recently come to the determination that my main goal in life is to, from now on, find the things that I think I hate and put a microscope on it and find something to love about it to where I don't hate it anymore. And if I can do that with as many things as possible, then I think that I'll be an overall happier human being.
And, like,
I think that's like
that's an undertaking. That's very
that maybe. But
it's deep, and it's a very, 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 very big undertaking to
it's hard to do. It's hard to, like, tell yourself that you are going to let go of a hatred for something.
Yeah, that's like.
But once you finally
it's really hard.
It's like so much more.
But it's kind of like when you realize that thing about yourself.
It's so much. It's so freeing. It feels so.
When you finally
so much
find the way
lighter.
to let it go.
Yeah.
Just like
just the fact that I don't think snobbishly really much about music anymore, and I'm way more open, and I don't have like as much hate or animosity towards things.
Artists, and
it makes
I used to hate bands with bad names.
It's made me open up to, like, oh, well, then if I'm not going to be like that, I have this whole new world to look in and find out what I love about. Like, that's when I started getting way more into, like, fucking, like, weird jazz and all this kind of like stuff that I would never really, like, focus on, because I felt like, well,
earlier on,
I really love, like, alternative grunge music, so I mean, I'll just keep focusing on that.
Yeah.
But when you start opening yourself up to more musical styles, you also open yourself up as a better musician in general, and I think that helps a whole lot too.
100%. I mean,
you're adding like more like groove and vibe to your repertoire.
Exactly, and it's also like, you know, when
even
you try
if you don't
to
know
like
it.
when you try to segment yourself as a certain type of musician, you can't.
Yeah, why are your glasses on again? I just noticed it. Have they been
You
on
just
for a
noticed it?
long time?
I just put it back on.
Okay.
I just put it back on because it was kind of...
It was kind of what? It was kind of
bright
sunny in the room?
That light's bright. It's bright.
The lights have not changed their brightness the whole time.
Bright. My eyes like were starting to feel the pressures and strains of it.
Is it about time to pull a card?
Hey, it's about time to pull a card, and I'll take these guys off. I look so good in them that it's like it's hard not to. It's hard not to put them on. Right? Yeah,
you are.
You know?
Just know that I judge you.
Oh, without saying, it's like.
All right.
Ooh,
Knight of Pentacles.
That is a very good card. The Knight of Pentacles. Oh man. Okay, so full meaning of the Knight of Pentacles.
I do look like Jeffrey Dahmer right
You
now.
do, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Okay, so upright, a person of integrity, responsible, trustworthy, utility, matters concerned with money. We all like money, which brings me to our ad. No, I'm kidding.
No, but for real.
Yeah, but no, really. So this card represents a patient, responsible, trustworthy person entering your life.
Ooh.
If you are awaiting news, be patient. You should expect the news to arrive in its own time. The person bringing this message is going to patiently be going about their own business without rushing their tasks. So they're in no hurry, nor should you be. Takes time.
Yeah.
If this card represents you, you are an utterly reliable and responsible person. Sometimes you get too caught up in your own thought processes.
It's probably me.
This is balanced out by your strong instincts.
Mm-hmm.
You persevere until you attain your goal. Persevere until you attain your goal. Can't read. Dyslexia. Yay. You have a strong work ethic, even if you are unemployed at the moment. You should not give up, as you will find work soon. Okay. Psychically, you may not see the nature spirits, but you know they're there. You feel their presence in the ground that you stand upon.
Ooh, I like this card.
You tend to like the old customs and traditions and will patiently wade through old books to explore them.
Oh, God, I'm reading a book from
Important
the 30s
money matters
right now.
come to the fore at this time.
All right. We're going to be making some money, guys. See,
Important
aren't you
money
glad
matters.
that you're part of the SNWF
man.
world? Because we're all going to be raking in
We're
bags.
in this wheel together.
Raking it in.
Yep.
I hope that
Everyone has a wonderful...
we can be your Knight of Pentacles. And I hope that you can be our Knight of Pentacles.
Absolutely. Let's share this together.
Until... Thank you all so much. I want to stop for a second because I feel like we've been going in and out of these, but like for real, thank you. It means so much for us to be back doing this.
Yeah.
I agree. Super
Therapeutic.
fun and therapeutic.
It's more it's very fun, but it's very therapeutic.
Like it is really extremely. And I hope that we don't work through my problems with me. And then when maybe we can all feel a little bit better.
Thank you for hearing them all out, really.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, I should be paying you for therapy advice.
That's true.
Or like just as a listening ear.
Yeah, just here. Just listen.
And sometimes silence is all you need, though.
That's all.
You just need a sounding board to go against.
Silence is all you
So that's why you should always meditate. And that's why you should always go to our Patreon page and check out the tiers. All right. Farewell.
Find yourself contemplating time and your place in its clutches. It's true, it heals all wounds, but time makes monsters. For all of us. All of us keep down to tame the wild beast.